Hi everyone, welcome. Today we will learn how to make splash pages using a free photo editor online. If you are trying to use Photoshop with only a basic knowledge of its functions, then you are probably feeling confused or lost. You are in the right place. If you are unable to access Photoshop, you are also in the right place. By the end of this session, not only will you begin to understand the process of picture editing, but you'll also learn how to utilize free picture editors to create beautifully looking splash pages. There are 3 basic tips to remember today as we learn. Number 1, when creating splash pages, think in layers. This concept will make more sense as we go through the training, but picture layering is all we will be doing to create these splash pages. Number 2, take the time to get to know your picture editor. By knowing how each option can edit your picture, you can begin to understand all the things it will let you do. Finally, number 3, have fun with it and be proud of your work. Something simple can still wow a customer, and if you believe in it, your customer is more likely to believe in it as well. Okay, let's get started. This is PicMonkey.com. I prefer to use this picture editor. There are hundreds out there, but you can use any you'd like. I prefer this website over others because of its design. It's easy and really quick to edit photos. Okay, let's talk about layers. And like I said before, layers are the foundation for picture editing. There are 4 main categories of layers. Layer 1 is the background layer. Layer 2 is the extras layer. Layer 3 is the logo layer. And layer 4 is the textures layer. These will all make more sense as we go through and make a splash page together. Today, we will be making a splash page for my client, Ollie and Jack's Pub and Pizza. They are a pizza restaurant located in Orange County. The first thing I do is take a look at their website, and I go through each layer. The first layer is the background layer, so I ask myself, what can I use as my background? A good place to start for our background is the website's background, right here. You're probably thinking, how do I grab the background as an image? When I right click, it won't let me. The answer is a little trick I learned that I will show you in a moment. Another way is by doing a Google Images search for backgrounds. You can just type in green gradient and millions of green gradients will pop up and you'll have plenty of options for a background. For backgrounds, try to stick to a solid color or gradient color because this picture will probably need to be contorted the most to fit the size we need. Okay, let's learn how to grab this background. Alright, so as you can see, when we right click, we can't get to save as picture. It just wants to save it as a file, and that's not going to help us because we need an image in order to upload it to PicMonkey.com. So what I learned is this little trick called Control-Alt Print Screen. And the print screen button is right next to the delete button, usually on most PCs. I am working on an HP laptop, so if you have a Mac, it could be something different. I'm not sure what it is. But Control-Alt Print Screen. And what that does is it copies the image of the screen. What it doesn't do is it doesn't save it as an image. So what I have to do is I have to go into my Word document and press Control V, which will then paste the image into my Word document. From there, I can right click and save as picture right here. This is what I want. So now I want to go to Ollie's and Jack's Pizza and choose this. I don't care what it's named, KJJBDF, and I want to save it. From there, I don't really need to use my Word document anymore, so I'll just close that down. Alright, so let's go into PicMonkey and edit the photo. And let's go to Ollie and Jack's and open, and there we are. So the photo that I want is this background right over here. Alright, let's choose the crop button. This crop button, you've probably seen it before. It just allows you to crop out a picture from a larger picture. This is probably the most important tool that you can use because you can do a lot with it. I want to grab this red gradient color from the light to the dark on this side over here. So here we go, crop, no fixed proportions. I'm going to click apply, and now I want to resize it to the size that our background image needs to be, which is 640 by 840 pixels. So let's change this 640 by 840 pixels. And this is why we want to use a gradient color or a basically solid color, because when we stretch this, we don't want to have to worry about the picture being low quality. So let's click apply, and now I want to save this as my first layer, my background layer. Save photo. Ollie Jack's Pizza, save. Okay, so now we have our background layer. Let's go back to the website to look for things we can use for layer 2, or the extras layer. This layer includes additional text, borders, photos, and overlays. This is where creativity comes into play. Just be careful about using too many overlays and creating a cluttered look with too much going on. Simplicity is key here. For the extras layer, I really like this orange part as well as this cream looking part. These would be great borders. And I also really like this, maybe we can incorporate this wood somewhere at the bottom, or I'm not sure where. But those are the 3 things that I would really like to include as in my extras layer. So basically I'm just going to crop everything that I want out of this photo. So we'll start with this orange little part. This orange part could be great using as a border, just for anything really. So let's grab that. Right, let's move this down just a little bit more. Here we go. And apply and save as border. Save photo. Ollie Jack's Pizza. Save. And then now we can just press this undo button again right at the top, and it takes us right back to this original picture where we can crop it again. Really easy. Alright, now I want to grab this cream part. I really like this cream part. Especially to be able to put in this logo right on top of it. So I want to click apply, and I want to click save as, JJJ. Save photo. It really doesn't matter what you save them as. Personal preference, really. And I'm going to click back once again, and then I'm going to crop out the top. This wood looking section that I like. I especially like that part right here. I think it'll look really great within the app. So there we go. We got some nice looking wood. Let's save it as wood. Save photo. And save. Cancel. Save photo. Sometimes it gets a little confused. I don't know why it's continuing to do that. Save photo. Yes. Alright. Now we have some fun extras to use for our splash page. The next layer is the logo layer. This part is easy and is often easy to just save the picture as a photo straight from the home page. Right here we can right click, save image as, and Ollie Jack's Pizza, And we can go logo. That's what we want to save it. Save. All right. There is our picture that we just downloaded as a GIF. And there we go. Before we get to the last layer, or the textures layer, the next step is to put together all the different layers we just collected, starting with the background. So I'm going to upload our background. I'm going to open that. And what I want to do now is just start to create the splash page using everything that I have downloaded so far. So if we look at all of our editor effects here, we have crop, rotate, exposure, colors, sharpen, resize. You can fiddle around with those. We have effects, lots of effects to look at. Go ahead and take a look at those. I'm not going to look at those today. Touch up. I tend to not use these because unless I have people in my photos. Text. You can add any kind of text you'd like, and overlays. So you can click right here, your own overlay, and it lets you upload whatever overlay you want. And I'm going to start with this cream color. And I'm going to open it. So we can use that as a border. And if you notice, what I can do with this picture is a little bit limited. All I can do is resize it proportionately. What I can't do is pull this bottom down and have the sides stay there. So that is something to keep in mind. If you want to have specific proportions, you need to open this picture by itself and edit it by itself, and then upload it as an overlay onto the background. So I kind of like having it as a border across. I think that looks nice. I think this background is a little dark for me. So I might want to think about adding a light texture to it. But I definitely like this overlay. This big, big border right here. I think it looks nice, especially with the gradient at the bottom, at the top actually. I think I'd want to have that at the bottom. Look at that. I think that looks a lot nicer. Alright, so there's our first overlay that we can use. Let's look at what else we have. We have the wood and this border. Let's check out what we could use this border for. Maybe we use the border to go right across here at the bottom or down here. We could even use this border. If you right click, you have all these options like deleting the overlay, sending to the back, sending backward, bringing forward, bringing to front, straightening, original size, and duplicate. A bunch of different options. I'm going to duplicate this overlay, and I'm going to bring this also to the top because I think matching would look very nice. Look at that. Very simple, but very sleek as well. And I might even flip this because it looks like there's a little gradient on this orange piece as well, and I want the gradient to be at the bottom and at the top. Look at that. Already it's starting to look a lot nicer. I'm liking how this is turning out so far. And then my other overlay that I have is the wood. How do I want to use this? I really am not sure just yet, but I really just like the wood appearance. Maybe if we just added it on right here at the bottom. Or even if we rotated it right here, we can have it go across the side. And so if you look at that, that's not straightened, so I can click straighten, and there it's straight for me. And I can make this larger. And there I have a wooden side border. I think that looks very cool. I like that a lot. We can also put it on this side and have it closer to the edge. Just fiddle around with things for a little bit and see, you know, what you can create using these tools. Maybe if I duplicate and send this one over to this side. I don't like that though, so I'm going to delete that. We can blend this. We can add, darken, difference, hard light. You can just take a look at what all these things do. I really like this hard light. That looks very cool. Lighten. You can scroll down, multiply, overlay, screen, subtract. And this is why I like PicMonkey.com, because it goes so fast. You can just take a look at all the different options you have and choose which one you think looks the best. I really like that. The wood kind of appears out of nowhere almost, and I think it looks really, really cool. So next overlay, we can upload our logo. Here's our logo. And the one thing about the logo is you want to make sure it's big. You want to make sure it's the first thing that a person will see when they look at the page. When they look at the splash page, you want them to see the logo. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to stand out. And I think that looks really good. I like that a lot. It's really simple, really clean, and I think it just looks really nice. Once we have our layout, as we do, we can now move on to layer 4, or the textures layer. If you look down here, here are frames, all these different frames. You can rounded corners, simple edge, drop shadow, museum matte, Polaroid frame, film edge. Plenty of different options for frames. Now textures, they have a few different textures. You can also add your own. You can find textures on the web by just doing a Google search of textures. You just type it in and you will find plenty. What we need to do before we add the texture, this is very important, is merge together all overlays and marry them to the photo. So basically what this does is just squishes them together, and once we do that, the texture will stand out much better. So now take a look. You can see it's actually made a change here. That looks really nice actually. I want something that's a little less dark. So once again, that's probably this multiply overlay that's making it so dark. So if we added it, or if we, you know, did normal, darken, difference, hard light, you'll get a lot of different options from these. And I think there's overlay. That looks very nice. I like how you can see the texture right there. Makes the orange stand out and the red look you know, a lot brighter. I think I might want to use this right here. You can also use this fade, which, you know, will help. Here's our original. Here's, you know, what it could possibly be. And I definitely like they usually fade at about 20%. So you can choose how much you want this texture to show up, is what that fade does. I really like this. This looks really great. You can go through all the other, you know, textures and see which ones you like. I'm gonna stick with this one. I think it looks great. So I'm gonna click save, and I'm gonna write splash, and I'm gonna save the photo. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna save it, and voila, we have a finished splash page. Now we have to upload it to BizApps and preview it to see if it works. So here we go to Business Apps. We choose the file as splash page right here, all the injects. Open it, upload the image. Oh, it signed me out, so we need to relog in. Jax and password. Alright, so now we choose file. We upload the splash page. And there we have it. There is our new splash page. Now make sure that you preview it to see if it works. And go back to create any position mistakes. Don't forget to check and make sure the photo works for both the location tab and for the home tab if you're using the same splash page for both, as I often do. Sometimes when you open the location tab in the iPhone app, there are buttons on this tab that often cover right where I like to put the logo. So they come up, right around here, and sometimes I have to change the splash page to make it look better for the location page. And what I'll usually do is I'll just drag it down. So I'll show you what I do for that. You can basically press undo. We'll remember that we used which one we used, which texture. And I'm basically just going to bring this down, bring this down, bring this down, and bring this down. And I'm going to merge it together, and I'm going to go to my textures, Papyrus textures, and I remember I used this one. Make sure it's faded 20%. And I remember I used, which one did I use? Overlay. I think I used overlay. That looks great. So I'm going to click apply, and I'm going to click save, and I'm going to have this as my location tab. So I'm going to save that photo, and I'm going to go back to my business apps, location, and I'm going to choose file as location. Upload the image. And alright everyone, that wraps up our training session for today. Thank you for watching.